And I'm like, yo, he don't really want me to fail. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you really don't hate me like that.
No, you really rock with your boy. Even though sometimes I'd be like, yo, Lord, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, he's going to guide your steps. He's going to order them.
When you listen.
When you listen.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rich in Real Life. I am here with an incredible guest, a serial entrepreneur, somebody you are absolutely going to learn something truly incredible from. Someone that I'm inspired by, who I really have heard his story and realized, one, as an entrepreneur, the fight never stops. And two, if you're willing to persevere, if you're willing to weather the storms, there's always and only something better on the other side every single time. It's really just, are you willing to take the risk? Are you willing to waver the storm? So I'm really excited to introduce you guys to Mr. Joshua Mundy.
Come on.
I was like, can I do it?
Yeah.
He is a serial entrepreneur. He is the CEO and co-founder of Pivot Technology School, which we're really going to talk about. I think this is an incredible concept. Yeah. And a Nashville native and the founder of ZAM Investments. And he's just Summit everywhere. So I can't wait to talk to him today, a little bit about his story and what you guys can learn from him. So welcome to Rich in Real Life, Josh.
Come on. What an introduction. I feel like this is the part where all the hand claps go.
Hey!
Yeah.
Listen.
You program the hand claps? Yeah. Okay.
No, they're mine.
Right. That's what's up.
But listen, this is the show to have fun on. Let's talk some real talk, Yeah. And we might cuss a little bit. And you definitely gonna bring the country out of me, I can already tell. And but I want to talk about and highlight this incredible story. And so I just said all these great things about you. Yeah. But what I want to talk about first is the backstory of your beginning of your journey as an entrepreneur was actually in creating a laundry. Was it a laundromat?
So
the cleaners.
So I always say that like I started in entrepreneurship like as a child.
So you were a toddler.
No, so it's like everybody has this same story. If you look at all of like the really, really successful entrepreneurs, they all started off in school selling candy. You know what I mean?
This is your version of like, I do want to be like this.
Yes. So it was like, I was in the 5th and 6th grade and I was selling candy to the kids and I was selling like sugar and Kool-Aid. So
I'm mad.
So like Kool-Aid. So y'all you probably don't know anything about this, but we used to get the Kool-Aid that was already pre-mixed with the sugar, and we used to put them in Ziploc bags and sell them to the kids.
I'm done.
And then like kids would just eat it all day long,
Like the 2 sticks, and you would get the thing
Literally,
and stick it in there.
Just like that. So I was doing that as a child.
I'm done.
And it was like really, when I saw that I could buy something at one price and sell it at another, that changed my life. I didn't know it was supply and demand. I didn't know that it was like wholesale to retail. I didn't know any of those things, but it just sparked something in me. And it was like, oh my God, my mom can go to Sam's. We can go buy a piece, like a bag of candy, and I can sell each individual piece and then make all this money.
Everything had a dollar amount on it.
Everything had a dollar amount.
You was in the store begging, like, buy this so I can sell it.
Yes.
Buy this so I can sell it. Okay.
Let me get the suckers. Let me get all these suckers. I sell them for $0.25.
Yeah.
Like all these things. Like I was doing all these things at an early age, not knowing, okay, this is like really like entrepreneurship. Right. I'm just like, okay.
Everybody talks so highly of this, but I swear you're either born with it or you're not, or you fall into it by accident.
Yeah. It's just like, it was like, I didn't know what it was, but I knew, I'm like, okay, this right here is something I want to do.
Yes.
Y'all
like, talk about these jobs. Yeah. It's a no for me.
No, it's a no. So like along the journey, I only worked 3 jobs my whole life.
I'm done.
Like 3 jobs.
What were they?
Like literally. So my very first job was I worked at Arby's at 13 years old.
Slinging sandwiches. Got it.
I was slinging sandwiches. I lied. So I lied on my application and said I was 16. The lady kept asking for my driver's license. I was like giving her my high school. Yes! I was like in the 9th grade. I was giving her like my high school ID. You know what I'm saying? But I
It
lied.
doesn't have your birthday on it. I know. I
It
can't.
it didn't even have my birthday on it. You know, she was like, okay, I'll take it. But I was
I'm
13
done.
years old because I saw my mother struggle.
Yep.
And I just never wanted to depend on my mother to be like, I don't even want to be a burden to my mother.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go hustle and just get whatever I want. So like all the kids were getting the PlayStations. I couldn't get it.
Right.
I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go make my own money and I can go buy whatever I want to buy and give my mama some money. You know what I'm saying? It was like that kind of a mentality. So from there, I worked another job in high school. And then I worked 4 jobs. I worked at Sprint PCS as an adult. And a call center. Yep. I was like 19. And then I worked at a place called Park Center. That was my last job when I was 21.
And so how did you know? Was there a moment where you were at Park Center and you were like, this shit is not for me? Or was it like, no, I'm going to open this cleaner? It's like, what happened?
No, so the cleaners wasn't my first one. My first business.
The offense.
So yeah, right. So I went to MTSU. So that's to a college in Murfreesboro, which is like 30 minutes away from Nashville.
Okay.
And I did that for like a year and a half. And I just couldn't take being a broke college student. You know,
they wasn't taking your vibes. They wasn't buying the stuff you were selling.
I wasn't really selling. I just couldn't be a broke college student. So I left.
It was killing you.
It was killing me.
The girls wasn't having it. It wasn't nothing.
I just didn't have no money. And I went home for the summer. So I got through both semesters. I went home for the summer and then I never went back.
I ain't going back.
I'm like, I'm cool. Because my dad would always say, well, son, if you're not going to be a lawyer or a doctor, man, you need to go out here and get this money. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody understood. Somebody understood
my dad was like, he always was like that. And so now like all my friends have student loan debt. Like I have 0 student loan debt. Zero.
I have student loan debt.
Yeah.
But your girl got a whole master's degree and did not use it.
Right.
Just owe somebody a lot of money.
Yeah. So as I left there, I went to Sprint, then I went to Park Center. I started a janitorial service. So I got into the janitorial service because it was just easy startup. Like easy startup costs. It didn't cost me a lot of money.
You say that, but there's so many people that cannot put stuff like that together.
That's the problem. Okay. That's the problem. It's like a lot of people have great ideas, but they do not know how to execute.
And when we put it, but let's be honest with them for a second, right? When you first put that together, because I know when I first put any of my mess together, it was not together.
No.
I was selling it before it was together.
Yes. It's never together.
I need you to buy it so that I have the money to put it together.
That's the story of my life. You hear me?
Did I figure you out?
I think you just figured me out. Like that's the story.
Every entrepreneur.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time. You know what I'm saying?
Please don't trust me because I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't. But I'm passionate about everything that I'm doing.
Correct.
And then people gravitate to the passion and then they say, well, let me help this fool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you look helpless. Let me put some energy and money into that.
Like, yo,
you need some money.
Yo, let me help him. Like he is passionate about, because I get really passionate about the things that I do.
Right.
So
I've chosen this.
Yes.
I pray that's the same for women.
Yeah. So it's like janitorial service. I was doing it. So I started up working that 9 to 5. So I was utilizing all their resources, like their printers and
Been there, done that.
Oh, yeah.
Been there, done that.
Making the business cards on their dime. I was doing all those things.
I printed at work. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And I just starting to build my business. And as I was growing, I felt like I couldn't give my business 100%. And I was also cheating on my job. So I was doing all this stuff on the job time.
Yep.
And I was cheating. You know, I wasn't really giving my business all the attention it needed. And I wasn't giving my job all the attention it needed. And I just came to a crossroads. Mm-hmm. And I read a book. It was Michael Gerber, E-Myth, Why Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It, right? Woo! So I read that book and I went to church. I always tell the story. I went to church. The preacher preached water walkers, right? And it just talked about like stepping out on faith and walking on water. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's just like a metaphor to like really just stepping out and going for it. And so I heard that message and I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to type up my 2-week notice. I'm going to turn it in. I'll quit my job. And I got scared. I ain't turning it in.
You had to walk in like, I can't do it.
because I didn't have like really any major like contract set up.
Right.
It was just the fact that I knew
This would
if
work.
I gave 100% to this, it would work.
Right.
And so I went again to like this. He had like a special service like 3 weeks later, and he preached the same message, water walkers. And I literally turned in my
God was like, Josh,
like, your son. And I made this commitment or this oath to God. I said, no matter how hard it gets, I will never work for anybody a day of my life. Wow. And that was 21 years ago.
Okay, can we talk about this for a second?
Yes.
Because there is a significant amount of logic that is required in entrepreneurship, AKA the part that most of us creatives hate, which is money,
right?
Dollars. Yeah. Based on what I have and what I need, can this work?
Yep.
There's also a significant amount of magic and insane amount, almost crazy. We talked about it.
Yes.
Of self-belief.
Yes.
And then there's half the world that tells us, quit your job before you're ready or else you won't do it. And then there's the logical side where people tell us, which is incredibly smart, I'm not degrading this, save 3 months worth of your bills
for sure.
before you do it. And I wish I would have, because I probably wouldn't have gone through half the shit that I went through had I done that the way they tell you to.
Yes.
So if you have the means to do it, do it.
Yes.
But I'm looking at you and I'm seeing the mirror reflection of me, and neither one of us did that.
No. I didn't do that at all.
No, there was actually probably negative nothingness.
Right.
For me to walk away from my job and have the audacity, the crazy, to think that I could actually do something with nothing.
Right.
Because you're asking yourself and believing in yourself in a way that is similar to oxygen. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. And so what do you say to someone? Because dreams are previews.
Yes.
You saw this for yourself before it came to life.
Right.
So when you saw this, what advice do you have to say, like, do you wait until logic meets magic? Or when do you know? Because you're looking at both of us and we dropped logic out the window a long time ago.
Yes. And so, so over the years, I
wish we would have been smarter. It's easy in hindsight to be like, had I just gave that some more time.
Yes. So it's really, I tell people to really do what's best for them and their situation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, I wish I would have stacked some money before I stepped out there and leaped.
Yes.
And I think there's a right way to leap. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't want people to get caught up in the internet hype.
Yeah, because there's some hype.
It's a lot of hype.
Yeah.
When it comes to like quitting your job and just jump out there and just do, well, yes, but it's a lot of pros and cons. And I really think that you can do it the right way and set yourself up for success.
Right.
A lot of times entrepreneurs, they jump off they leap, right? But they've already created this $100,000, $200,000 lifestyle.
Yes.
And then now they want their small little business. I'm not going to say little, but when it starts off, it is a small business.
One comedian was like, whenever you put little in front of it, it really means you don't respect it.
No. But
that little business you got.
I respect your business, but it starts off small. I mean, now
that's how you have to start.
You can get lucky sometimes and roll the dice and you blow up and you explode, but that is
few and far between.
That is few and far between.
Correct.
So you just plan for that is not going to work out. That's how you should plan. So when you step out there, just do it the smart way. Just create where it's like, okay, I need to go get all my assets. Yes. I need to do all these different things to put myself in position. So now when I do quit, I'm okay.
Yes.
Okay. I've made all my purchases. I've done all the things that I wanted to do. I made my investments. I need to do all these different things before I jump over the bridge and jump out to this entrepreneurship game. Because it's different.
Yes.
It's just different when it comes to like your purchasing power. Let's just talk about that. Let's just talk about purchasing power. Okay. Let's get
I know
right
where
here.
You're going with this. Give it to them.
I'm going to give it to you straight, clear, because they're not giving it to you this way.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard as hell to buy a home as an entrepreneur. Okay.
Banks hate you.
The bank hates your guts. Okay.
Bank's like, what is this falsified money that you speak of?
Right. Because your income is not, it fluctuates. And as entrepreneurs, sometimes you're the last one to get paid and your money doesn't come every month or every 2 weeks. It may come every 90 days. You may get an owner's draw. But the bank doesn't like that. Okay.
Or you sacrifice your pay to pay someone else or to grow or scale your business. You say, okay, this month I'm going to hire someone and I'm going to withhold what I'm giving myself on average because one, I can stand it. Two, I need to sacrifice to grow the business.
You better believe it.
The bank does not understand that because that's not steady income.
That's not steady income. So then you cannot make your investments or you cannot go buy a home and all these different things. So before you leap or before you quit that good, I always say a good W-2, because with that good W-2, you can go and get whatever you want, but you can position yourself before you quit. So while you have that W-2, you go get your lines of credit. You go do all these things to set your business up for success. So now you're not depending on your small business to support that $250,000 lifestyle that you have already, you know what I'm saying? So, and people go, it's the wrong way to do it. And then so now you're not allowing your business to grow. You're not actually reinvesting that money. Now you're taking that money and then you're doing whatever you got to do.
And you're PGing everything.
Yes.
You're personal guaranteeing everything through your personal credit and good luck. Cause you out here, then you go to buy a home or just sign off on something. Can I just get this credit card or can I get this car? And they're like, your credit is shit. So your business is booming. You have money coming in, but you're literally PGing everything because you have not gotten a business loan yet. You don't have any business credit to your name. Like, please solidify this shit first. You could be making $250,000 in your business, but your credit be shit because you're over leveraged and everything. Like you have zero purchasing power and you are always one emergency away from a shit show.
You better believe it. And it's just, and it really depends on what type of business you're doing. So from a business to consumer side, you're one review away from your business going, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and the internet
one tank away from
literally, like, you know, the internet is ruthless.
It's ruthless. People, what you mean? What do you think they mean when they say get canceled? When they say get canceled, when the internet cancels you, there is a follow-up to that, which means you lose your authority, your expertise, aka your people trusting and buying from you. So then your money tanks too. Go ahead and get canceled on the internet if you want to.
Yeah, so it's just so many things that go into it. And I just think that people could plan properly before they take this step. They don't have to do like me. I didn't have no contracts. I didn't have no money saved up. And I was out here hustling. And sometimes I was out here struggling. And trying to figure it out. And mortgages late and bills are late.
I know this so well.
Having to, you know, call them and tell them I need what did they put it on the back end? Can y'all put these 3 months on the back end?
Can I split this into 3 payments?
Yeah, it's like all these different things that you don't have to do if you plan properly. You know, things do come up. You know, you can't plan everything, but you want to do it the right way before you just kind of just take that leap out here. Yeah.
I'm so glad we talked about this. I just was listening to Alex Hormozy and he was saying something very similar about like explaining the difference in liquidity. And he was like, it's the ability to be able to buy. It is literally not to own assets and grow them and liquidate them. It is just the ability to be able to purchase them.
Yeah.
Like that's your buying power is your ability to be able to purchase them. And he was like, most people get themselves in situations where they literally have no ability to buy assets, zero. And if you start business ownership backwards, like the way that Josh and I did, your margins are paper thin and you're always one decision away. And you better believe to float the business, you come last.
You come last.
To float the business, you come extra last.
Yes.
Matter of fact, there's plenty of things that you'll put before yourself that don't even belong in front of you. Like other people's kids. Like,
it's just, I mean, you come last every single time. So it's really about how can I plan this properly?
And what am I doing all this for?
And then what am I doing this for? Like, what is my why? And you can't get caught up in chasing money. Because the money it's nothing, you know.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
It's fun coupons.
No, it's like, what is this? Is this my purpose? Do I have passion for this? And it may not even be my purpose, but do I have passion for it?
Yeah.
And if you have passion for it, like half of the things I was doing wasn't because I loved it.
You didn't want cleaners?
Hold on. No. So started with a janitorial service.
Right.
Hell, I don't clean
Your
up
mother
at all.
couldn't even get you to clean the house.
Exactly.
But
right.
your mama was probably like, excuse me?
A janitorial service?
You don't even clean your damn room.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? You know? But it was like, no, that was my entry point to entrepreneurship, which entrepreneurship was my passion.
Right.
I always say, like, hey, I'm in the phone business. If I can get phones for $1 and sell them for 10
20, right.
or 20, yep. I'm passionate about the phone business now, you know?
If I can triple this margin, passion.
Passion. So, I mean, that's just really about, and people do have like passionpreneurs where
Absolutely.
they have to be absolutely passionate about something
right.
to actually launch it. But with me, it's about margins and is this a great business?
Yeah.
Can it do well?
Right.
And if it can do well, then I'm passionate about it.
See, this makes you a true serial entrepreneur.
For sure.
I've never liked the phrase because I'm like, but it really is. And I'm gonna take this into a very deep version. But to me, when you have a 9-to-5, you are in survival mode so much that you don't have the financial freedom or ability to have the space to think enough. And when I say think enough, it's to figure out what you actually love or want to do.
Right.
And because you're always in survival mode. I feel like as an entrepreneur, if you do get to that good place where you scale and you have those margins, and then you can take that money and you can invest it into something else to create something else. And it's almost like those new ventures become more and more passionate. You may start out with a few things that don't feel so hot, you don't love so much,
right.
But as you create those margins, you're able to invest that money into other things that you can become more passionate about. In between those humps, you get more time.
Yep.
And in that time, you're able to get into more discovery. I don't think people in 9-to-5s get a lot of discovery time.
They don't.
And I think we get discovery time on those leaps of those new investments and those new ventures. And in that discovery time, we're like, okay, what do I actually want? And if I could take this money and do something that I actually want, what does that look like? And if I could have a life that instead of is 40% fulfilled or 50% fulfilled, how can I spend my money doing something that I'm 80 to 90% fulfilled? And what does that look like? Yep. It doesn't mean that there won't be a 20% that sucks,
right?
But it's like, how can I continue to build? And I think we miss that. Creating that wealth that way gives us a space for discovery.
Yes, I believe in discovery. I mean, you have to have those moments where you can really think about your next thing.
Right.
Like, and 9-to-5 is really, I mean, you're programmed and you're capped.
You're capped. You're absolutely capped.
It's a cap of, we're only going to get you to this amount. And that's what drew me to entrepreneurship. And that's what draws a lot of people to entrepreneurship, is that you have an opportunity to create the wealth that you want to create.
The wealth that you want to create. And faster.
Only if you focus.
Can't save your way to wealth.
Yes. You cannot save your way to wealth. But I say only if you focus.
Focus, correct.
And I think as a culture, we're not focusing enough.
No.
And
do tell.
I do tell. And that was me.
Yeah.
So I'm only speaking from experience. I'm only speaking from experience. I've been doing this for like 20-something years.
Been getting my ass whipped the right way for a long time.
Yeah. So that was me. I was starting so many different types of businesses, but everything was only getting about 10% of me, 15% of me. So I was stretched so thin and didn't know I was stretched.
You're a visionary.
I'm a visionary. I get an idea. But here's the thing about me. I can execute very, very fast. So my execution skills are second to none.
Okay, let's go.
But the thing about it is that my focus was off.
Yeah.
My focus was stretched.
Yeah.
So when you have singular focus, you have to really build a foundation. And so where you're on the internet all the time, you're seeing multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
So you feel like you got to go start 6
all
or 7.
Things.
Everybody's
doing Turo. I got to do Turo.
Yeah.
Everybody in real estate. I got to do real estate now. Yeah.
So you're so like, and then your money is everywhere and you're not focused.
And you're not watching.
You're not assessing.
You're not auditing.
And then you look up and then you're in the hole. You're in so much credit card debt. You're in so many things because your money is stretched. But how can I have singular focus and pour all my energy in one thing and then allow that one thing to spur off and give me multiple things? bucks.
Oh, I'll be damned. Look
So,
at that.
I mean, I shot a video the other day, and if you evaluate the greats, if you look at the greats always focused on one thing. Michael Jordan was good at basketball.
One thing.
P. Diddy was good at music.
Yeah.
And then he allowed that music to open up doors to other things.
Yes.
But he had to be great at that one thing. But we're not great at one thing, then we're known for jack of all, but no, you can't be known. It's cool that you can do it.
Yes.
But you can't be known for that.
And you can be that eventually. That is 20 years in the making.
Yes.
But people don't talk about that. Like when I just met with somebody the other day, and as soon as they got on the call with me, they were like, I want to do this podcast. And then I see it being this media network, and it's going to be the rollout to my books and my media. And and then there's going to be movies and da-da-da. And I was like, I'm looking at the website and I'm like, how about we get good at one thing?
Exactly.
I love your big vision and I'm not capping it, but like, let's start somewhere.
But guess what? Guess what happens to that big vision? Because this happened to me. They feel overwhelmed and they never can get started.
And you're paralyzed.
And you're paralyzed because you're like, I got this big old vision. And I'm going to build this big studio and I'm going to do all these different things.
Yeah.
But then you get stuck.
Yeah.
And all you had to do is just focus on this little. I'm going to focus on building this. Because when I focus and get good at this, then automatically opportunity is going to come that's going to align with this.
And we get upset and we're in training when we're in these small things.
Right.
We're in training for the big thing and we want to skip the training.
We want to skip the training.
You want to get right on the bike without the training wheels.
Come on,
You're not
microwave.
supposed to be there.
No, microwave society.
Come on.
Let's get back to the crock pot. I know y'all don't cook. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all ain't in them pots. You know what I'm saying? But we got to get back to the crock pot.
Josh, stop yelling at me right now.
They have to simmer oxtails. Okay? Oxtails simmer.
And you can't do it right any other way.
No, you can't cook oxtails in the microwave. Okay? And that's real. You can't do it. So.
Oh my God, this is so good. Yeah. This is so good. Because how many times have you been in a really good space where it's like finally making sense. Yeah. And you know for a fact it wasn't luck. Because you're like, yo, I was in training for this 5 years ago.
Facts.
That's why God put me through that. That's why I went through that one thing. That's where I took that big L. Because when it came around again, I was like, nope, try me again.
Yeah. And that's just like the story of my entrepreneurial journey. It's just like taking big L's.
Big old L's.
Big old L's because I was like, I'm very risky.
Very. And
as an entrepreneur, sometimes you get caught up in the greatest and next thing that, okay, I got to go get that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I got to go do that.
Yeah.
And you really.
Oh, I could do that better.
Oh, I can do that. All day long. So I went from janitorial to my buddy was like, man, let's open up this cafe in Murfreesboro. So the place that I was
you went to college and you left.
Yeah, and left. Let's open up this cafe. And so I was doing good in my janitorial service. I was investing in real estate. I was doing okay.
Okay.
But that big shiny thing came. And was a
cafe
distraction.
With the margins, it'd be this big.
This big. And I had margins this big. And so that shiny thing came and I'm like, oh, I'm got to chase the shiny thing.
Right.
And that was one of my biggest L's.
Ooh.
Lost $250,000. I'm 20 something years old, losing $250,000, starting this cafe. Then I go like 2 years of strictly like depressed, not really depressed, but I was just hustling.
Yeah.
I was hustling. So like 2000.
Working backwards, get me out of this.
Yes. So 2006 to like 2008 was like, it's just the grace of God I got by those years. So I don't even know. Like I was just hustling, like just doing whatever, just creating anything just to make some money.
Wow.
And in 2008, I saw a building on the corner of 7th and Jefferson. Jefferson Street is like a historic area in Nashville. Okay. It houses 3 HBCUs. It's generally it used to be a predominantly African-American area, gentrification, all the other stuff, but it was predominantly Black. North Nashville is considered the Black area of town. And I saw a building and it was empty. It had a police sign and it just was like, had my name on it. I was piss poor broke. Probably had $5 to my name. Literally, I'm not lying to you. 2008, I saw this building, had a police sign.
That's the recession.
It was the recession. I didn't know it. I was just I was in my own recession. So I didn't know what was going on in the world.
All I hear is that Jeezy song, the recession song, my president is black, my lamppost blue. That's all I can hear in my head.
Yeah, the recession. So it's like, I didn't know. I was in my own, like, just trying to hustle and figure it out. And I saw this building and I said, man, I gotta have it. And I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do at all. I didn't know what I was gonna do in this space. I said, I gotta have it. So every day I would go in that space. I'd just be looking I'd be looking in the building. I'm like, man, I know I gotta have this. And the owner came, he was like, man, you here every day looking in this building. He said, man, you might as well just get it. And I was like, you right. I might as well get it, man. Bring me the lease. $5 in my bank account. I have no money and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I signed the lease to pay $2,000 a month.
What?
Yeah. And I told him, I said, give me 2 months. I have the rent for you and we'll be good to go. And so.
Was this building like empty gutted?
No, it was empty. It was just like waiting for something. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. So I rode around the neighborhood.
Have you ever renovated anything?
No, I never renovated anything. But it didn't need renovations. It already had some carpet. Okay. It already had the walls straight. And so I literally rode around the neighborhood for like a couple of days. I went to sleep. I woke up and it hit me, said, dry cleaners. Literally, I just heard it. Like, God be talking to me like that. People don't be thinking I'm like, yo, he be telling me.
Yep.
And he was like,
if you listen.
Yep. He told me dry cleaners. And this was in 2008 in the middle of a recession. We're talking about a luxury type of kind of business where you don't need to go to the dry cleaners. It's kind of like.
That's one of the first things you get rid of.
Exactly. That's correct. Discretionary income.
Right.
I opened it up in the middle of a recession. Yeah. I did have no experience. Like, again, I didn't have no experience in the dry cleaning business. My family didn't open up no dry cleaners or anything like that.
My eyebrows twitching because it's like, I feel like I'm with you in this moment. And if I was your friend, I would have been the opinion.
Yeah.
They would have been like, what the hell are you doing?
Everybody was saying that. Everybody was like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like a dry cleaners? North Nashville, I was probably like 25. 25 years old. Yeah, like 25. So it's like, what you doing, bro?
Right.
Like, this ain't gonna work. I mean, so many people told me it wasn't gonna work. I mean, so many. People like, dry cleaners, this North Nashville, this the hood.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, yo, it can work.
Yeah.
I think it can work. Now, when we opened, and we was open in 3 months. Oh my God. So I was open, so.
How did you defer the $2,000?
So I got it from my daddy. I got it from my daddy, and I had a business partner at the time.
God bless the belief. Somebody had it in you.
My daddy I said, Daddy, I need this money. I need you to do this. And he was like, all right. And he gave it to me.
Wow.
And so I signed the lease in August. I was opened up in November. I told you I could execute really, really fast.
Right.
I figured it out.
Right.
So I figured out a way not to be able to buy all this equipment and still be in the dry cleaning business. So I outsourced all my dry cleaning. So I was just the middleman.
So who was dry cleaning in there?
I found the cleaners. Wholesale to retail. Business is not hard.
So
people.
I'm walking into the dry cleaner and there's no
machines. It's a twirl machine where your clothes.
And when it goes to the back, it's going out the back door.
It's going out the back door. I just put it in some bags. And I told my customer, we have a warehouse. This is her. So because they were like, where's the equipment? And my sales pitch was like, no, this is a historic building. They wouldn't allow us to put those machines in this building, but we do have a location where we clean our clothes. That's our main warehouse.
Which was kind of true.
It was kind of true, but it wasn't mine. And they was cleaning my stuff for $2 and I was selling it for $6.
Yo.
And we did that for 13 years 14 years up until March the 3rd, 2020, which we'll talk about.
Okay. Yeah, we got to talk about that. But hold on. Hold on. Not you outsourcing and making this the front-facing business. How did you continue to grow this business? And did you eventually get equipment?
No, I never got equipment.
Did you grow this business by quality of service, name?
That's it.
Good service. What?
So we grew the business. So at first we were just like, okay, people are going to come from the community, walk in the door, walk in the turnstile.
Yeah.
And then I like quickly saw that wasn't going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, we need to get a van and let's start doing pickup and delivery.
Wow.
And then we started doing pickup and delivery, game changer. Game over. So we started getting these accounts. So I started going to buildings like this and go down to the concierge and make a deal with the concierge and they'll start referring us customers. So we start getting all these buildings downtown Nashville.
What?
But we were still kind of like struggling because the area didn't turn over yet. Like the area was still kind of
half gentrified.
Like it was kind of hood. But then they made this big announcement. They was gonna put this baseball stadium across the street. And when they announced that,
boy, it was over. Look
rocket
here.
ship. And then they was looking at me like, you a genius.
Not everybody that said it wouldn't work.
Oh, everybody that was telling me that wasn't gonna work was looking at me like, yo, you a genius, man. You with it, bro. Like, I'm glad you didn't listen to me. You know what I'm saying? And some things though, in life though, sometimes you do have to listen to your wise counsel.
Yes.
I've been stubborn.
Say it.
I have been stubborn in times and I did not listen to my wise counsel and my wise counsel was right. But the thing is that as an entrepreneur, sometimes like you got to
figure it out on your own.
You got to figure it out on
your own. Let me go
own.
outside and get beat by myself.
Yes. And you got to have that internal mute button because some things I may be betting right and you wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's just like, how do you
decipher? How do you know?
How do you decipher?
This be outside meditating. I'd be like,
yes.
God, is that you or is that my ego? Because I'm trying to hear, or is that somebody else's wanting? I need to know. Yeah. I can't tell. So how do I practice the muscle of hearing my own voice and trusting it?
Hey, that's a bar. Because it's like, like you really, you will know when it's right.
Yes.
And you will know when your wise counsel is right as well.
Yes. Because it'll bring you peace.
It will.
It'll bring you peace.
And when you go against the grain, everything doesn't add up. And then things start going downhill.
Oh, fast. Ball rolling.
You be like, man, I should have listened. Man, why was I such in a rush? Dang,
what was I trying to prove?
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
My ego's out the way. I got caught up in the hype. I got caught up in everybody saying, you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing.
I'm broke.
I'm broke. I'm stretched thin. But hey, the community think I'm popping. You know?
I look damn good on Instagram. The community said they believe in me, but it's not working.
It is not working.
They're proud of me for trying right now.
Oh my God. So I did that. And then along the way, I just started getting involved in like the community.
Yeah.
So just always being community impact for me. That's been my major thing is I build businesses around community. And that's what I love to do. So I build community. So my dry cleaners wasn't a dry cleaning business. No, it was a community business.
It was the place to hang out.
It was a relationship.
Oh.
I still have some of the best relationships to this day off of people I met in the dry cleaners. Them dropping off their clothes.
That is a thing that people don't talk about anymore. That and I say this about Nashville, I don't know, but it was or is a smaller town. That is one of the most missed concepts in business that doesn't get taught anymore. Is like, I don't know, but I miss walking into a place and being known. I have a Publix downstairs in my building, and there is nothing you can't tell me shit about the feeling I get when I walk in with my son and the staff.
Yeah.
Brings my son a cookie.
Yeah.
And they're like, Jess, what's up? How are you?
Yes.
How's the business?
Yeah.
How's that? And I know this is a main strip with a store that they see hundreds and thousands of faces all week long, but you know me.
Yes.
And you recognize me.
People don't understand, like, we got to get back to building relationships.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh.
Relationships are worth more than money. Okay?
So much more.
And you have to like just start being intentional about how you build relationships and getting to know people and really getting to know your customers and things. And that's what we would do. Like, somebody would come in pregnant, we'll go get them diapers and we would just do like intentional things that make an impact. So you're going to always be like, I'm going there.
Yes. And you can't take that away.
And you can't take
not
it away.
Something that costs less.
Yeah.
Not something that comes on the other side or closer to home.
No.
I'm going where I'm valued.
You better believe it. They know my name.
Yes.
When they see me coming up, they're already going and reaching to get my clothes. They already know who I am. So when you build those type of relationships, you're gonna always win.
Always.
And that's what has gotten me this far. So really, it doesn't matter what I do, because I spent time in building relationships.
And then you can call on these people when it's good and when it's not so good.
Come on.
Because you need them both.
Come on.
You need them both.
Yes.
So fast forward me to, you have this community-based business. Yep. You took the leap and it worked. And now you're this genius that is well known and getting sought out for other things, of course, because now I'm thinking 13 years in the business, people trust you for business advice. Yes. And because again, now you're this genius.
Yes.
What happens?
So this building had like 3 different spaces in it. Mm-hmm. So my vision for the building is that I was going to own it.
Okay.
So
because you're still leasing it.
So I was leasing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, this was all about ownership and legacy.
Right.
So it was like an ownership legacy play.
Yep.
Had my son. I'm like, my son is going to be working in the dry cleaners. And I'm going to pass this on down to him. And that's what my vision was. So I started to occupy the whole building. So it had 3 suites in the building.
Wow.
So it was one side, it used to be like a real estate office. They moved. Then upstairs was like an event space. It wasn't nothing going on. The owner was living there until his house was built.
Wow.
So I occupied the space next door and I built a co-working space called The Lab.
Wow.
I built so in 2017, built a co-working space called The Lab, which it really just housed small entrepreneurs looking to build their business, because that's what I'm passionate about. And I wanted to give them a space to be able to do that, because they couldn't afford the WeWorks of the world and all these other places. And also too, I experienced rejection in one of those entrepreneurial center places.
Yeah.
And because I brought an idea in there and they just shit on me so hard. I thought it was the best idea in the world. And I think it's still.
Like, go have a seat.
Oh my God. They made me feel so small. And I thought it was the best thing smoking. And so I was like, you know what? I ain't never coming here. I'm going to build my own.
Build my own.
Yeah. And
but people say yes.
Yes. So I literally built that. And then I had an event space upstairs. So I was occupying the whole space. And so for years, we were just helping entrepreneurs grow. I mean, we've seen entrepreneurs go from zero to millions and millions of dollars out of this space. It was just the energy in there was just crazy. Like the energy, we would just do because that's what I was throwing parties. I was doing all kind of events and brunches.
Oh, because he's like a DJ and all these other things too. Like he do all this other shit on the side.
So it's like, man, we were doing events. We were building community. And that's just my jam, is like building community, building relationships, getting to know people, helping people, connecting people. I've always been a connector.
God, I love that you were never too busy for this.
No.
I love that. You made this your life.
Yeah, it's like, no, they call me the plug. Literally, I get requests every day, all day of, Josh, can you connect me with this person? Josh. And I tell people that I work with, like my videographer, Aaron. What's up, Aaron? I tell him, like, so he was working a 9 to 5. He was wanting to do this full time. Yep. And I said, look, man, you can work for our organization, but don't charge me like you charge everybody else.
I know, that's where it began.
Because I'm going to put
Plug
you on.
With everybody.
I'm going to change your life.
Yep.
And 3 months, he quit his job and he making double what he was making on his job.
Wow.
So it's just like, I've always been that person, just like to build relationships and stuff. Yeah. So I was building this kind of co-working space.
So now you've turned this corner lot into
it's the happening.
Yeah.
The happening. We was doing block parties. We were doing cocktail events. I mean, if you go deep in my page, you'll see it. Yeah. Like, so we were doing these things, and then I get tapped to be a part of these leadership things in the community. Right. So like the Chamber of Commerce, they're asking me, okay, can you be a part of the steering committee and all these different things? So I'm building all this. And so in 2019, this is where the story gets juicy. It gets very juicy.
Give me.
So 2019, the Chamber of Commerce, they had me a part of this leadership cohort where we were like really studying Nashville problems. We traveled to Austin, Texas to see what they had going on and figure out how we can bring some of those ideas to Nashville.
Right.
They compared the two cities. They like, okay, we're growing the same, kind of alike.
Yeah.
And so we were going to all these technology hubs. Now,
Right.
mind you, let's rewind. I'm in the dry cleaning business, co-working space business. I throw events, have an event space. Okay. That's my background.
The extension
Full
of
entrepreneur, real estate, full entrepreneur. And so I'm experiencing going to all these technology hubs.
right. Because
So
that's
Austin.
Austin.
That's Austin.
Mhm.
So we going to all these technology hubs, people in there building tech companies, people in there learning how to code. Like it just blew my mind. Like big spaces and spaces that look like my co-working space.
Wow. You're like, I underthought this.
So I'm looking around, I'm like, yo, this is amazing.
Wow.
And I promise you, so I'm looking around and then I look around some more and I ain't see no Black people.
Of course.
Zero.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know Austin was like that. Austin don't have no Black people.
Not really.
Zero.
Yeah.
The help ain't even Black. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna find a Black bartender
Somewhere,
or something.
server, something.
Busboy.
Dishwasher, yeah.
Somebody, nobody's Black.
Wow.
So I saw that. And again, God was like, Josh, he came like, I'm just in there random. He was like, Josh, I want you to start a technology school. I heard it clearly. It's like, Josh, I want you to start a technology school. Now, mind you, again, let's rewind. Josh is not in the technology business. Okay.
Couldn't build a website.
Josh didn't know anything about tech. Okay. The deep down of tech, not a cell phone, but we're talking about real hardcore tech of building apps and building websites and coding
Yes.
and data analytics and all
Yep.
this other. Josh didn't know anything about that. And God was like, Josh, I want you to build a technology school. Literally. So I want you to turn that corner into an innovation hub. So I told a buddy of mine that was on the trip, I said, hey, bro, when I get back home, I'm going to start a technology school. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, I'm going to start a technology school. And I told another guy, he ran the technology council. He was there. And I told him, I said, man, when I get back home, I'm going to start a technology school. Literally. I got back home, got back to my co-working space. My current now business partner was reaching out to me and was like, hey man, I want to meet you. Cause we had like mutual friends, but we never met. So he was coming in there to get like business advice and talk about his brand and what he had going on. I didn't know he had a tech background. So he was talking to me.
So he was pursuing you. Yep.
He was saying, hey, let's talk about this business stuff and what you got going on and how can I get more connected in the community?
Right.
And he had this tech kind of thing going on. I told him, I said, hey, bro, I want to start a technology school. He's like, man, you know what? I'm passionate about that too. I really want to make a difference and get more Black folks into tech. I said, hey, bro, you want to do this? He said, man, let's do it. Literally, 2019, we're in my co-working space mapping this out. We came up with the name Pivot Technology School in 2019. Keyword pivot. Okay? In 2019. All right? So all of 2019, we worked on this.
Yeah.
Okay? I had all my businesses
And you
rolling.
execute fast.
I execute very, very fast.
Right.
So the plan was we was going to launch the following year. Mind you, me and him have never ran a school at all. Okay? We don't know what, he has a tech background, but running a school? Like, no, we've never run a school. But I always say, if you move in the direction you want to go,
Things come.
everything that you need
Will come.
will show up. And that's what happened. So I'm in my co-working space. One day I'm teaching a class called Leapers. And I was helping people transition from part-time entrepreneurship to full-time entrepreneurship. I'm in my co-working space, minding my business. 2 men come knock on my door. Boom, 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 boom. I'm thinking they're there for the workshop. I'm in mid-teaching workshop. I open up the door. I said, hey, y'all here for the workshop? We already done got started, but y'all come on in. They said, no, we're here to look at the space. We want to teach our friends coding. You want to teach your friends what? Coding. I said, man, I'm about to open up a technology school. I need you. Literally, they were my first teachers.
What?
They showed up at my front door. I cannot make this up. I'm not lying to you. I'm not, no cap right here. I promise to God. They knocked on my front door and they were my teachers.
What friends did they want to teach coding? What do you mean?
They're just their community, their little circle of friends. Because they was already software developers. And this guy was teaching his friends how to code and get into coding. And he knocked on my door. I did not know him. I did not seek him. It came to my front door. Everything that I needed came to me. Okay. So let's.
If this ain't perfect faith, but go ahead.
This is like perfect divine faith, and we'll get into really understanding, like, when you hear those voices to tell you to move, to do something, it's preparing you for something that you don't know is coming.
Come on.
Okay.
This is so good.
And really preparation, those voices are like really intense preparation.
Yes.
And because it's like God saying, yo, you don't know this.
Yeah.
But I know it.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do
Fair warning.
I'm going to set you up for success. Mm-hmm. But you got to listen and you got to have clear perspective. Okay. So March the 2nd. So actually that Saturday we finally convinced people. So people see that I'm in all these businesses. They really didn't take me serious.
Right.
Okay.
They're like another thing. Another thing.
What in the hell is Josh into now? Right. Oh, he's in tech. Oh, bless his heart. You know what I'm saying? Bless his heart.
Cute.
That's so cute. You know what I'm saying? He's really doing this. He's the laundry man. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't he throw events? You know what I'm saying?
He's a DJ.
Yeah. What is he doing? Why is he doing? He's doing so much. Like, they was really sunning me out here.
Right.
Like, really. But I just knew. I said, man, we can make this happen. So we finally convinced some people to actually sign up, trust and go through the classes. So we started off with like 2. We had software development and we had data analytics. My business partner's background is in data analytics. He helped build that program. The guy that knocked on the door, he had a software development. He built that program as we went.
Wow.
Okay. We didn't have it all the way together. We barely pulled it off at the bottom. I'm talking about, we had a whole year where we was like trying to figure it out. Damn. It was like a defining moment. We had a defining moment. So we had orientation. We had an orientation and nobody showed up.
Woo! All right. The first time?
No. So the first few, everybody was showing up. They were just curious.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Yeah.
Then
probably reporting back to their mom.
then the energy died.
Yeah.
And we had an orientation. I never forget it. I had all the folders laid out. We had some cookies and some little refreshments. And it was just me and my business partner. Not a soul showed up. And that was like a defining moment where it was like, man, are we doing the right thing? Man, let's just.
We're tripping.
We tripping. Let's just take a pause. Like, man, I got all this going on. You got this going on, man. And we're
trying to do too much.
We're doing too much.
Yep.
And we just gonna chill. And it was just like, no. And it's like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I talked to my business. I'm like, no, man, we got to make this happen. So we just kick back into gear. And so we still didn't have any curriculum. So remind you, we have a school with no curriculum. We tell the world we're going to launch on this date and we have no curriculum. So we finally got something in the bottom, the 9th hour that could cover us for a month and we'll build it along the way. Again, you don't have to have it all the way together. You just got to have something to start with.
Yep.
So we had something to start with.
It's sad. It's so true.
And so March the 2nd, 2020, just a normal day in Nashville. The next day was going to be our very first day of classes.
Oh my God.
It was just a really, and actually, you know what? I look back on that day, like my spirit was unsettled.
Oh.
My spirit was unsettled because like, we was going into 2020. Y'all remember all that 2020 vision?
Scare us. Yeah.
Everything, alignment. And we were like, the year perfect vision. We had all these like mantras going into 2020. 2020 is going to be my year. But 2020 started out for me like super slow.
Wow.
It was just so different. It was just like
That's not what they said.
My business wasn't rolling like it usually. I wasn't making my numbers. It was just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
That first quarter, it just felt like I was doing too much.
Yeah.
I may have signed myself up for too much. I got so much going on.
I'm reaping what I sowed, and this doesn't make sense.
And it was like my very first time of feeling overwhelmed. And I felt overwhelmed.
Mm.
And on March the 2nd, it's going to be in my book. I'm writing a book called What Storm? Okay.
Ooh.
What Storm? You know what I'm saying? And I'll give y'all just a brief snippet of like that title because people look at me now and don't understand
where this came from. The storm you weathered.
Yeah, they don't understand. They thinking about the pandemic.
No.
No. They're like, what
this
storm?
is your own pandemic.
Yeah, what storm are you talking about? So on March the 2nd, I pulled out my computer and I'm talking about I was feeling so overwhelmed. And I typed a letter to Jeff Bezos on March the 2nd at night, like 10 o'clock at night.
Saying what?
I was saying like, because I was watching on the news, like, you know, because I was like in a bad space. I just felt overwhelmed. I had so much going on. My money was stretched. Like I said, my money was stretched. Yeah. I was just like, man, I'm doing too much. Like, this ain't feeling right. It's just not right. I typed March the 2nd, I typed Jeff Bezos a letter. And I said, Jeff, you know, I got all this going on. I saw on the news, you're looking for things to invest in. I need you to invest in me. You know what I'm saying? I just want a fresh start. I typed that to Jeff.
You better be careful what you ask God for.
And God said, boy, Jeff. He said, Jeff? Really? He said, nah, I got something.
You thought Jeff was going to fix this problem?
He said, nah, I got something for you, son. So March the 2nd, 1 o'clock in the morning, my phone. Now, in Nashville, the sirens go off all the time. Tornado sirens.
Right.
They be testing them things all the time. 1 in the morning, tornado sirens going off. I'm sleeping like a baby. Yeah, I'm sleeping. I'm good. But my phone starts ringing. Then it starts ringing. I'm like, why is these random people calling me? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Ringing. Then my dad called. Ringing. And I'm like, okay, something going on. Let me pick up. So I picked up the phone. My dad said, hey, man, son, I think you've been hit. Daddy, hit? I'm good.
I'm home.
I'm at the house. I'm chilling. He said, now turn it on the news. Turned it on the news. The very first picture I see is the building that I had, my vision, my goals, my dreams, what I'm building, all these things. The school was going to be there the next day, all this stuff, and the roof is off that thing. Tornado. F4 to 5 tornado came through, swept through, and blew that thing, blew the roof off the building. Listen to me. Blew the roof off the building. Okay? It skipped everything. It hopped. That thing was hopping. It hopped, hit this one building, boom. Skipped the next place, boom. Hopped and hit another
right on mine.
Boom. And then he was like, no, I ain't gonna skip this one. That's that boy right there. I got to hit him.
He just asked the founder of Amazon.
He just talking
to give me a fresh start.
I got to hit him now. He hollered at Jeff. That's an insult. I got to. Oh, he want that? Okay, I'm gonna show him.
Here's your fresh start.
Boom. Tornado came, swiped me off the map. Listen, so I don't know what in the world to do. I'm like, oh my God. So
my baby is gone.
My baby is gone. What am I gonna do? You know, my finances, all these different things was coming through my mind. I got a child and how I'm gonna take care of my family. And all these things were coming up in my mind. And it was like, I'm talking about devastating. I didn't know what, I was just stuck. I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, God, what are you trying to do
what
to
are you
me?
Doing?
Like, I'm thinking I'm going through like some Job type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Man, you taking everything away from me. Like, what's happening? And just to see the devastation and I see my vision and I'm thinking my vision is in this building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had a vision for this.
You didn't give me this for 13 plus years for this to not be the foundation of what you wanted me to create. Why did you come to me and tell me to build that? And I already had the very foundation that I needed to build it. And why would you take it away?
He was like, I had all those questions. And also too was, so here's the just the greatest story ever. It's like God took away 3 things for me to give birth to a new thing. So it's like, I'm going to take away these things that I know are going to be a distraction. And I know you're not going to do it yourself. So I'm going to do it for you because I have a greater plan for you. So yes, we got through this 13 years. You did good. Great job, son. But I got something greater I want you to do. So I'm going to take away something that you ain't going to do it yourself. So I'm going to take it away. But you don't know I'm setting you up for success. And I didn't know it in the time going through it. So it was like in 2019, God was preparing me for a storm that I know was coming. But it was a double storm. So March the 3rd, tornado hit. 3 to 4 weeks later, the pandemic hit. The whole world shut down. Okay? The whole world shut down. And this is why I talk about when God set you up for success. Think about all the businesses I was in. I was in the dry cleaning business. Would have been greatly impacted by COVID.
Great. Over.
I would have been stressed out.
Tech school shut down.
Not the tech school, but the co-working space. People can't be close to each other. We can't have events. We can't have the event center and wedding receptions and all that other stuff. Everything is shut down. The world is shut down. So he said, one day I was walking, I was just asking God for a perspective. I was like, man, what are you trying to tell me? He said, just look at it, son. Just look at it. I set you up. He said, I gave you something. So I had the technology school that I worked on all this time. We launched on March the 3rd, 2020. Everything. So we was going to be in that building. Everything. We turned everything to make it virtual. So now the whole world is virtual. My school is virtual now. He said, no, son, now keep looking. He said, keep looking. I said, all right, I'm going to keep looking. He said, now you were trying to make local impact. He said, now I was trying to set you up for global impact. Everything is virtual. Now we got students all across the country.
Bigger.
Like, no, don't,
I didn't want you on this corner.
No, we global, baby. So I want you global, baby. What you doing, son?
I love it so much.
Yeah, it's like, what you doing, son? No, I want you to think bigger. I'm going to set you up.
You won't turn your back on your baby. So I'll remove it.
I'll remove it to set you up for a global play, not a local play. Yeah. So that is like, that is the epitome of really stepping out and really understanding when you hear those voices, they come. They call it intuition,
yep.
Whatever those voices they are to you.
Yes. Like
they're going to speak and you're going to know when it's, okay, I need to make a move. Because every time you don't make a move, just think about what if I wouldn't have listened to that voice? What if I wouldn't have been like obeyed and say, you know what, I'm going to do this? Then I wouldn't have been prepared. I would have been trying to get prepared in the middle of the storm and not prepared for it.
This is so good.
I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, when you watch the news and they say it's going to rain, guess what? You can prepare.
Right.
You can go get your umbrella.
Right.
But if you're in the middle of the storm and you're trying to run for an umbrella,
you might get a grocery bag.
You might get one. So it's just about like preparation and everything. And then when you prepare for storms and when you prepare for the things that happen or going to come, then you can handle it a little bit better. You're not in the stress. You can be prepared for it. Now, doesn't mean that you're not going to have feelings. Doesn't mean that you're going to feel, you're going to be emotional about it and all these different things. But it's all about your perspective. And once you get clarity and perspective of your storm, then you can go. Then I felt like I was untouchable.
Untouchable because you're at peace with whatever comes. That's a different game.
That's a different game.
That's a different game because when you're in obedience, you're like, it could be a storm around you. You like, I already know where I'm going. I'm good. I know there's an end to this. Yeah. I know there's a place to this. I know there's a destination to this. Y'all can scream and holler all you want to. I know this plane's going to land.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm at peace.
I'm
With whatever turbulent ride I've got from here to the plane landing.
Facts.
I'm good.
I am straight.
That's crazy.
And it's just that peace that now is like, I can do anything.
Anything.
Like anything, because he's guiding me.
Mm.
And I'm like, yo, he set me, he don't really want me to fail. You know what I'm saying? Like, he
really don't hate me like that.
No, you really rock with your boy. Even though sometimes I'd be like, yo, Lord, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, he's going to guide your steps. He's going to order them.
When you listen.
When you listen.
Yeah. This is so good. And
and
thank you so much for sharing that.
No.
Thank you. And I can't wait for the book. Y'all got to check out the book.
Yeah, for sure.
Stay in tune. So you
follow me. I'm for real. It's gonna be amazing. Because I just think my story can really just show people like, man, perseverance and just endurance.
It's always it's good. It's always happening for you.
It's always happening
in the ugliest form.
Yes.
In the ugliest invitation.
Yes.
I always say your biggest leaps come in the form of the ugliest envelope.
Come on.
The ugliest envelope. It's green, it's
That's
ugly, and somebody already tried to pick it open.
Yeah.
And it came in the mail and you're like, what is this ugly thing?
Facts.
And it's an invitation or to change, to pivot.
To pivot. Yeah.
We're not going to be corny anymore on this episode.
Yeah.
But hold on. I want to say this because I think this is so cool because this leans into something we just talked about and something I know about you from just watching you. Mm-hmm. So you go from this community, this going against the grain in the opinion, to committing to this and then becoming a genius and a community advocate, to growing the baby that you have, to then being it wiped clean for a fresh start because you literally asked for it. Then you start this and this becomes global. So you're not tied to anything. And then you fast forward and you and I just had this conversation on the way here about how I'm like, you out here and it look like you drunk off life. Like, I'm like, you're living your best life. You're everywhere. You're traveling. You're like, I was just here 2 weeks ago and here. And you were like, I'm committed to traveling and maintaining the state of my mental health and just living. And I feel like, again, I look at where you were and you would have turned your back on your baby. When you have a physical storefront, you don't leave your baby. You might take a vacation a year. Right. You might stretch yourself a little bit, but you're always physically there. And so I look at this in the other format of how, I'm not saying that your state was off, but you may have saved your mental health.
Facts.
Because look at the way you're living now.
Facts.
And you told me this incredible story, and I want to know if you were willing to share a part of it. Is just like, what changed your mind around prioritizing your mental state?
So I just became like so intentional about focusing on my star player. My star player being myself. And it's like, Kendrick Lamar has a song. It says, I choose me, I'm sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry,
me
not
first.
sorry. Me first. No matter what, me first. And it's just like when I went through that situation with the tornado and then sitting down in the pandemic, and it just showed me like none of this stuff matters.
None of it.
It is fleeting.
It's
it can be
fleeting.
gone in a second.
Yep.
But how can I really pour into myself?
Yeah.
Like, how can I really just tap into myself? And I'll tell this story, and I don't think they would mind me telling the story, but it was a prominent, I'm not going to say his name, but there was a prominent businessman. And this was just like so I've already was like moving in this vibe.
Yeah.
I would just,
you know what it's required to maintain it.
I had the cake.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But this was the icing.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a prominent businessman in our community, big time businessman. He had everything. In your eyes, he had everything. In my eyes,
right.
He had everything. So he had the Ferraris, lived in the gated community, exited his company, sold his company for $20-something million. The family. He had everything, the prestige and the community, the recognition and all the awards and the pats on the back and all these different things that you would think. The plane, he was a pilot. He could fly anywhere he wanted to.
No limitations on life.
No limitations on life. Had a home in another country. You know what I'm saying? Like, lived his life to the fullest. And he killed himself. Like, it really reminds me of I don't know if you watch Dave Chappelle. But Dave Chappelle, he has a monologue, a stand-up show, and he talks about Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
And Anthony Bourdain eating the finest of foods.
Yeah.
And, you know, like living the life. And his job was to travel and eat the finest of everything.
It doesn't get any better than that.
And doesn't get any better. And he
Took his life.
killed himself.
Yep.
And he talks about this guy that works at Foot Locker that had all this other stuff going on. He never even thought about killing himself.
Would never even thought about it. Would never.
But it's like, that just showed me that none of this stuff matters. Because you can have it all and be miserable mentally. So I say, you know what? I don't care nothing about this stuff. Like, cool, I guess I'm building a company.
Yeah.
But that company is I'm not going to be that.
And it's not me. It's not my identity.
It's not me, and it's not my identity. So that's why you may catch me DJing on a Thursday at a bar.
Let me tell you, I love to see this so much. I will literally watch you on the gram, and you will be in a suit and be like, let's get this partnership rocking. I'm in this meeting. And then 4 hours later, you're like, come through, boys. We're having a boys' night at this thing. And you're DJing with your sunglasses on. And I'm like, you better live your life.
Because it's like we get caught up in these boxes.
Yes.
Of what the CEO is supposed to look like, or the founder is supposed to look like. And
am I an executive?
I have to act like this, and I have to be this way, and I have to do this to conform to people's what they want of you. No, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna live my life. If me being me is gonna mess the deal up, then I don't need that deal.
Facts.
I'm cool.
Facts.
Because I'm gonna do me. So my way works. Okay. So I'm cool with doing what I do. I may have a cocktail mixing event. You know what I'm saying? But then they're like,
judge me if you want to.
Oh, they like, oh, Josh, you doing too much. And I'm like, no, I'm cool.
I ain't doing enough.
Because guess what? They love me more because Josh is showing up and not the representative.
Not the representative.
No.
You're not getting a version of me that you've never met.
No.
You're getting all of me.
You're getting all of me, and I'm showing it to you. This is me. So
take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. So that's when I tapped into that, it was like, no, man, I'm cool. I'm good. Don't matter what nobody say about me, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm tapped into my star player, so it don't matter. You can say whatever. Are you doing too much? I don't care. All right. I'll go look in the mirror and I'm happy with myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's just really what you gotta get. You gotta get back to cut out all the noise. And I would say for entrepreneurs, like the one thing that you won't do or scared to do is because you're scared of other people's opinions. So you're scared of what people are gonna say. And you'll stay on the sidelines because you scared that mom and them gonna say something, or your friends gonna say, you failed.
Yeah.
And so you scared to
or
fail.
I told you.
I told you so. I told you not to do that.
Right.
So you'll stay on the sidelines for the rest of your life because you're scared of somebody else's opinion. Forget what they have to say. They gonna talk if it's good. They're gonna talk if it's bad. So
I would say, listen, they're gonna talk about you regardless, so you might as well hit the gas.
Come on.
you might as well hit the gas.
Come on. Let's go.
Oh, Josh, this was incredible. And I appreciate you being so open and honest and vulnerable, giving us some insight to your upcoming book.
Oh, yeah.
And your life.
Oh, yeah.
Your life.
Yeah.
And these life lessons that come with this perseverance, this listening to your inner voice, just this inner knowing and being obedient to God and what he tells you. And then knowing what these choices come with. And knowing that you can be you through it all. You can be the brand. You can be yourself. You don't have to. I'm listening to this entire story from beginning to end, from your early 20s to now. And I feel like you never changed.
Never changed.
You just grew.
Yeah.
You just grew into whoever you needed to be to show up in these spaces, but you've always been Josh.
That's it.
I love it. Tell these people where to stalk you, where to find you, where they can learn more about you.
You can follow me. I am Mr. Mundy, Mundy on Instagram.
He be dropping gems, y'all.
Yeah, I be dropping, sharing information, knowledge. I'm launching this new community called The Passive Life.
Yep.
So you'll see more about that. But you can follow, I don't got a YouTube page, Joshua Mundy. I share like my real estate stuff. Like I believe in giving people the game for real.
No, you really do.
Like not the, hey, just change your mindset and it's going to be okay. No. And you're still confused, Yeah. So I like to give people the 1, 2, 3, 4 about like really how to like pursue their dreams and execute their vision and, get into real estate or create passive streams of income. So yeah, y'all just connect with me. I'm dropping a book, What Storm. So connect with me on all mediums. You can find me, Joshua Mundy.
Bam. Josh, thank you so much for keeping it real on Rich in Real Life. And thank you so much.
Thank you.